Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something really practical, something most of us do all the time, navigating the supermarket. We're looking at how language, specifically English, helps us out in this common but pretty crucial daily task. Our material today is from excerpts from Supermarket English, essential phrases for shoppers. And our mission. Basically, to pull out those key bits of language, the phrases that help you feel confident, capable when you're doing your shopping. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah. And it's fascinating, isn't it? How just a handful of simple sounding phrases can really unlock the whole experience. Understanding the specific words for a supermarket context. It's not just about getting what you need. It actually makes a big difference in how efficient you are, how comfortable you feel, and ultimately your independence when you're shopping. It's more than just buying stuff. It's about interacting effectively.
That's a really good way to put it, unlocking the experience. And speaking of unlocking, the source really emphasizes how it starts even before you walk into the store. Like if you're new somewhere or just trying to get your bearings, that basic question, where is the nearest supermarket? That's often the very first language tool you need, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That one question, it just helps you immediately get oriented in a new place. It's, moving beyond just looking at a map app to actually talking to someone. And then once you know where to go, the next step, as our source points out, is often about getting ready. Simple things like, do you have a shopping list? Or saying, let's grab a shopping cart. It just highlights that setting yourself up for an efficient trip is pretty valuable.
The shopping list, right? The source definitely flags that as important.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's kind of the anchor for the whole trip. And okay, so you've got your cart. Now the real hunt begins. Our sources give us some great examples for finding items. What is a phrase like, say, where can I find the milk? Or maybe even, I can't find the eggs. What does that really unlock for someone beyond just, the obvious answer?
That's a good point, the distinction there. These aren't just questions. They're quite precise requests. Where can I find the milk? That's usually about efficient navigation. You assume it's there, you just need directions. But I can't find the eggs. Well, that often suggests there might be a small problem, maybe a bit of frustration. It tends to prompt a different kind of help from the staff. So an insight here is that you're communicating not just what you need, but also sort of implicitly how your search is going so far.
I see. Okay, so you're kind of signaling your status. Makes sense. And it's not just about finding the stuff, but also the quality of what you find. The source has some really good phrases for this too. What about things like, is the bread fresh? Or I'm looking for some ripe bananas. What does that tell us about how the shopper is engaging with the actual product?
Well, these phrases definitely move things beyond just location. It's a deeper level of consumer engagement, really. Asking, is the bread fresh? Implies you have an expectation of quality. You probably want something made recently. It signals you're not just buying any bread, you're after good bread. And similarly, I'm looking for some ripe bananas. That's not just a request. It communicates a very specific preference. Maybe you want them for today or you like that particular taste. You're basically signaling your values as, a discerning customer.
That's interesting. Discerning. It suggests a certain level of consumer confidence. But do you think everyone feels comfortable asking, is the bread fresh? Or is that something that maybe takes a bit of practice? And speaking of confidence, what about understanding the cost? Phrases like, how much is this pack of rice? Or do you have any discounts today? Seems super practical. But when would you typically use those instead of just, say, looking at the price tag?
Right, that's a great practical point. Often, how much is this? Gets used for things that aren't prepackaged, like bulk items, or maybe when the price just isn't clearly marked, it's direct, it's efficient. Whereas, do you have any discounts today? Or maybe asking, this is on sale, right? That's more about confirming value, managing your budget. And this brings up a good question. What if something isn't priced and you really need to know? What's a good follow-up if asking doesn't get you a clear answer straight away? You might pivot to something like, could you stand this for me, please?
That's a smart pivot, yeah. Handy. And for those times when you're feeling a bit adventurous, maybe, or you just want to be absolutely sure before buying something new, the source gives us this little gem. Can I taste a sample of this cheese? That really speaks to a certain level of, comfort and assertiveness, doesn't it?
Absolutely it does. It's not just about, getting a free bite. It's about confidently using your right as a consumer to make an informed choice. That's actually pretty encouraged in many Western shopping cultures. It shows you're engaged, not just sort of passively buying things. And then for people with specific needs or preferences, a phrase like, do you sell organic vegetables? is vital. It's quick, clear, and it conveys a specific lifestyle choice. But what if they say no? Or you can't find them yourself? That's maybe where you'd ask, could you show me where they are? Or perhaps even, do you happen to know if another store nearby carries them? So you see how it moves from just asking to actual problem solving.
Yeah, I can see how these phrases kind of act like stepping stones in the conversation and the whole interaction. Okay, so you've navigated the aisles, you've filled your cart, maybe you even tasted some cheese. Now for the final bit, the checkout. What phrases become essential there beyond just, putting your stuff on the belt?
Exactly. The focus shifts immediately, doesn't it? It moves from finding products and checking quality to payment and logistics. Can I pay by card? Incredibly common and crucial for sorting out payment. And then there's that very practical necessity. Do you need a shopping bag? This phrase has actually picked up new layers of meaning in a lot of places now, hasn't it? Often implies a small cost, or it's tied into environmental awareness.
That's so true. The simple bag question has definitely evolved, and for me, I always like to have a record, so keep the receipt, please, is one I use regularly. It's just about being organized, really, and ready for returns or whatever. And sometimes, you just have a nice experience and want to mention it. The cashier was very friendly. That's a really lovely way to wrap up the interaction, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And keeping the receipt, it's not just about being organized. Like you said, it's actually fundamental to your consumer rights. It's your proof for returns, exchanges, even just tracking your spending. So that simple phrase is actually quite a powerful tool for consumer protection. And a compliment, yeah, like the cashier was very friendly. That's not just being polite. It reinforces good service. It might make someone's day. And it contributes to the overall store atmosphere. It's like a little micro feedback loop. Powerful stuff. And then finally, when all the shopping is done, that practical phrase, let's go home and unpack the groceries, it just signals the task is complete, brings the whole thing to a close.
So what does this all boil down to? What does it mean? Well, it means you've got a kind of shortcut now to feeling well-informed and confident next time you head out for groceries. We've sort of decoded the whole process from finding the store itself to filling your cart just right, asking about quality, price, making those special requests, handling payment, even giving a quick compliment. Knowing these specific phrases really empowers you to navigate a common scenario like the supermarket with ease and actually a surprising amount of interaction.
Yeah, and if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture. These phrases are really like a microcosm of how precise language can turn routine tasks into experiences that are manageable, maybe even enjoyable. They aren't just words floating around, they're actual tools. Tools for interaction, for solving little problems, for making sure your needs get met smoothly and comfortably. It really shows the power of targeted vocabulary in everyday life, not just for basic communication, but for strategic engagement.
And that's the beauty of it, really. So maybe think about how these specific phrases could be a starting point for you. We focused on the supermarket today, but what other common, everyday situations might benefit from a similar deep dive into their essential language? Maybe next time you're in the supermarket, trying to notice which of these phrases you hear, or maybe which ones you could use, and think about the layers of meaning they carry. Or perhaps consider how these phrases might reflect the cultural experience of shopping wherever you happen to be. Thanks for diving deep with us today.